Good evening, my dear viewers. On Deep Talks in 2022, virtual reality on love life and experiences, we have a wonderful soul who has been the talk of the town in the media industry. Not only that, we have to know a lot more about Amitabh Srivastava. And what a wonderful kick to this new year on Deep Talks. We are going to learn from a man who has done a lot of hard work to be so successful, that is also worked with Walt Disney and is training stalwarts of media. What a splendid achievement in his life, and so many of them that words fall short of having him on board. And we are grateful that we are having Amitabh Srivastava with us on Deep Talks in 2022, the 80th episode. I'm so glad with me Srishti, my co-host, is going to introduce and welcome Amitabh Srivastava, and I hope I do justice to a man who is a legend in the media and is already known by so many souls. He is the man with us tonight, and I would love you all to shower your blessings, unconditional love, and support by sharing this video. When you come to know, there is always a window to learn from each soul. So let's have Srishti introducing Amitabh Srivastava. Good evening,
Thank you.
Srishti. Good evening, Amitabh.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. Srishti, please go ahead.
Good evening and welcome everyone. It is my honor to introduce to you our guest for tonight, Mr. Amitabh Srivastava. Amitabh Srivastava is a leader, an entrepreneur, a strategic advisor, media consultant, an impressive, brilliant, and seasoned veteran in the field of media and radio and maintains extremely good relations with the media government cadre. He is stellar in the areas of broadcasting, distribution, marketing and branding, consulting and business advisory, corporate communication, media management, and public relations. His tremendous achievements played a key role in setting up TV channels in the 90s. He commenced his career in the hotel industry immediately after completing his plus 2 in New Delhi for a meager salary of Rs 848 per month for 6 years. He did his graduation while working in the Hotel Taj and later did his postgraduate diploma in media and public relations and effective communication in tourism marketing. His first media venture was in 1995 when he started working for the Times of India, and the rest is, as they say, history. Amitabh is one of the few persons in India who has a reputation of having solid business acumen with strong branding and marketing techniques while having an incisive grasp of new technology in tune with the emerging media scenario. His exposure in Japan, Europe, and UK gave him the cutting edge to handle the startup situation. He was able to cover the entire Asian market in the past decade to his advantage with his excellent skills. As an industry expert for nearly 3 decades, he worked with the topmost media brands like Times TV, MTV, BBC, TV Today, and Walt Disney as a senior management cadre. He has played a key role in setting Archtag as a brand, planting and maintaining its footprint in India and abroad. He was associated with Radio Netherlands worldwide for 5 years. He has gained accreditation from his association with AIB, Association of International Broadcasting, as Regional Head South Asia. Being the Director Asia for Inside Channel, he successfully launched Inside Channel in HD over esteemed Geo platform. He has also been part of various juries of Radio and TV World and has shared his wisdom through countless lectures at various platforms. He has been acknowledged with several awards like Indian Media Award, Rajiv Gandhi Excellence Award, BCS Ratna Award, and many more. He is also facilitated by PhD Chamber of Commerce, All India Radio Akashvani Delhi, UNICEF, Limca Book of Records for excelling his outstanding contribution towards society through media. He is currently heading iMedia International as a director. He is a shining star who was able to reach the hierarchy of success within no time through his hard work, dedication, resilience, and adaptability to changing scenarios, and I take this opportunity to wish him more success. At this juncture, I also feel honored to introduce you with Dr. Gurleen Khokhar a renowned psychologist and a noble, courageous soul who has left no stone unturned to be a torchbearer for many souls. She has conducted so far 79 interviews with celebrated dignitaries prominent in their respective fields from all across the globe. Deep Talks is a mental health initiative started by Dr. Gurleen Khokhar to break barriers and express and never forget the original self, which usually gets lost in achievements. Today, in the 80th episode of Deep Talks, we have with us Mr. Amitabh Srivastava to share his wonderful experiences. I invite you all to enjoy this terrific and inspiring conversation. I am sure that you will relish this beautiful talk and will also participate in it by commenting, liking, and sharing it with all your loved ones. Here, I would also like to mention that the contents of this channel doesn't intend to harm anyone's sentiments or feelings and doesn't have any intentions to hurt any religion, caste, creed, gender, or sex. With this, I leave the virtual stage of communication open to the public and ma'am for leading the way up. Thank you, sir and ma'am.
Thanks a lot for a terrific introduction, Srishti. You've always lived up to the expectations, and I feel this is an achievement in itself. And it's a wonderful evening where guests have joined us. And Shipra Mupal is saying, good evening, Amitabh. And Sunil Kaushal, a gynecologist and author, a poet. Good evening, Gurleen, Srishti, and a happy new year to all. All the guests, thanks a lot, Hina Shukla, for joining us. Good to see a man from the media. Yes, indeed. It is wonderful that we are presenting on Deep Talks a leader, entrepreneur, a media consultant, a seasoned veteran in the field of media and radio, Amitabh Srivastava. What a man he is. Terrific. Introduction and yes, good evening, sir. We welcome you to Deep Talks 80th episode. We are so glad to have you on board and we hope that you put smiles on the faces of all the viewers who are watching you on Deep Talks. And I would love to ask you this question before we start off the series of questions. And we would love to know, who is Amitabh Srivastava besides being a leader, entrepreneur, a media consultant, a seasoned veteran in the field of media? We would love to ask you some personal questions of your life that will kick up the enthusiasm and the spirits of people who are watching, because everybody knows Amitabh Srivastava. Who doesn't know in the media industry? So we would love to know what made Amitabh Srivastava the man who is successfully known in the media, very humble and kind in his life. We would love to know from you, sir.
Thank you very much to have me over here. Thank you very much, Tristi, for the beautiful introduction. Thank you very much, Goodleen. Happy New Year to you and to all
Thanks
the
a lot.
viewers. And belated happy birthday wishes as well to you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. It means a lot. Coming from you, it feels all the more bright. And the beginning is always like, it's spreading light to everybody around who's watching us. Thanks a lot, sir.
So back to your question, who am I? I'm a simple man. I mean, I always consider myself a very, very simple person, and I can see a lot of my friends are here and joining.
Yes,
Um,
sir. Manoj
I
Barman, a
think
very good evening.
I think if you ask me, I'll say I'm a simple man. I'm a simple friend, friend you can count on, uh,
Yes.
good advisor, good guide, and always ready to help others. Always, always.
Wonderful.
That's the one thing I've learned in my life,
Wonderful.
that one should
So
help
we would love
each
to
other.
ask you, sir, you're a big name in the industry, and does honesty play a great role in shaping up your life and others' life as per your thoughts? Or what is your take on this? Like, you have achieved so much in life. Do you think honesty still pays in the long run?
Very much, very much. I mean, honesty is something which goes a long way. I mean, it takes time to build that image of yours. You can't make overnight. And the flip side
Wonderful.
is that you can lose the image in 1 second. The kind of image
Yes,
that you build over the years can be lost in few seconds if you do
yes,
something wrong. So I think honesty is the most important virtue of being in media, and now overall as a good person as well, a man where your name is taken by respect by people. Honesty plays a very, very important role, and so is integrity, because your
wonderful.
integrity goes long way. The kind of work that you've done in the past, how your dealings have been in the past, you are judged by that. I mean, you're not judged by your face or by your physique. You're judged by your
Yes,
nature and your way of handling things and people. And I think that is
Very
what
true.
I've been focusing all these 32 years of my professional life.
Fantastic. That is commendable. You have commenced your career from hotel industry after plus two in New Delhi, and for just a meager salary of 848 rupees per month for
Ji.
6 years before reaching the pinnacles of success. So we would love to know one of your experiences where you felt that I am not going to give up, even if it is working for 6 years for just a salary of 848 rupees.
Now
Some
there is a
experience
correction.
of yours where
There
you
is a
felt,
there is a
yes,
correction. The 848 rupees was my joining salary. It didn't stay for 6 years. Of course,
wonderful.
I've got many promotion, but for 6 years when I was there, when I left hotel industry, it was close to about 5,000 rupees. But at the age of
Great.
25, 5,000 those days, way back
Was
in
a big
'94
sum.
was a big sum of money, and I was very fortunate.
Yes,
I
indeed.
was standing on my own feet, and I had got married also, and I had a son also around same time. So of course,
Wonderful. That is nice, and it is indeed an achievement. So we would definitely love to know a lot more about your personal experiences and how you reached the pinnacles of success. So while you did your graduation while working at the Taj Hotel and postgraduate diploma in media and public relations and effective
I come
communication
from
and
a
tourism
very
marketing, we would love to know how did this happen that you thought about pursuing your graduation while working at the Taj? Was it instant, or was it the family pressure, or was it an interest in your own area of thoughts? So we have maybe a frozen Amitabh on the screen for a while. Maybe he will come back with us and rejoin with us, my dear friends. Maybe there is a technical glitch from his end, but nevertheless, we will send him a request again and would love to see Amitabh right back with us. We were asking him about his graduation. So let's have Amitabh again with us. If I share the link, he probably would be there again with us, and this is going to be amazing because this journey is really, really very wonderful. Let's have Amitabh again with us. Once he rejoins, my dear friends, it always happens. A technical glitch can work out wonders if I'm left alone. So things are that this new year, I have been doing well and great and celebrating my birthday as usual. When you have big personalities online, you do have these technical glitches working ways out to bring the person back when we are streaming live. And we are doing the same by sharing the link again with Amitabh. We are hoping that he rejoins the link we have shared while I'm conversing with you. There have been a lot of comments in here. Shipra is saying, I can understand and agree. Yes, indeed. We have to agree that there can be reasons enough that we are hoping that he's back with us. But definitely, we always have a chance to converse. We would love to know each one of you, how did your new year go till Amitabh joins us? So it's always good to see a lot many viewers joining us, a lot many people who are there who would love to see this show. And Shipra has said, great to see the insightful first show of 2022. Yes, it is insightful indeed. If Amitabh rejoins us, I hope he does in a short while. And I hope it becomes the most effective show. Until then, we have you commenting, and I have his experience talking about the success he has achieved in the media field. So his first media venture was in 95, my dear viewers. He worked then for Times of India, and rest, as Rishti said, is history. He has a great skill to build strong business acumen with strong branding and marketing techniques. What a man he is. While he was also having a grip on the new technology in tune with the emerging media scenario. There are a lot many people like Shipra who always connected to me by heart. It went staying safe at home with family warmth. And what a wonderful welcome to Amitabh once again. Yes, we were talking about what a man he is. He's already there, having a grip of the technology in time with us with the emerging media scenario. We were just talking about your skills and I was interacting with all the audience. It is wonderful to have you back, sir. So we were asking you a
Thank you, thank you.
question.
I don't know what happened, but now I'm with you through my phone, so I hope everything is
Oh,
fine. You
with a
can.
big personality on board, this usually happens. It's a firecracker show, so it has to happen, something or the other. So on a lighter note, we would love to know from you your experience and your thought about joining the postgraduate diploma in media and public relations.
See, I come from a family where my parents were quite highly educated. My father was postgraduate in English language, and my mother was postgraduate in Sanskrit. And we come from a literary family, and my dad was a journalist. So, of course, education was most important virtue of our family, and obviously, I couldn't have neglected that because I joined my first job at the mere age of 19. Obviously, it was very important for me to have the basic education and then continue my life thereafter. And this is exactly what I
Wonderful.
did. That I joined the hospitality industry in the Taj, and I did my graduation through correspondence. And of course, to equip my skills, I had to do certain courses. I did learn foreign language as well, because in the hospitality, it's an added advantage to know the foreign
Fantastic.
language as well. And thereafter,
Wonderful.
I decided that media is something which is my calling, and I need to take certain steps to get out of the hotel. I always say that hotel is just four walls. There is a
Yes,
beautiful world outside, and obviously, I wanted to
indeed.
travel. I wanted to see the world, so
Wonderful.
media was the ultimate choice.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. You also had your first media venture, which was in the year 95, if I'm not wrong. You worked for Time of India, and obviously, it is indeed a great experience to work with Times of India. So, working with Times of India, do you recollect any experience where you learned a lesson that, yes, there is a lot more scope in the outer field, in the outer arena to join other
No, no, no.
companies
It's
and
very
work with them?
important. It's very important because I entered in '95, and I entered in electronic media, and electronic media, so to say, actually started way back in '91 when Gulf War happened, and CNN was the first satellite channel, if you recall. I don't know if you recall
Yes,
or. And
I was born
'95
in
was the
84,
time.
so I might recall a little bit. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And '95 was the time when all the channels, satellite channels, were coming in existence, like Sony TV, ZTV, many more. I mean, Prime Sports, LTV, which was Z News later on, and
Yes.
couple of music channels. So I actually entered at the inception of electronic media in India, and that was the basic, most important thing of my Times of India tenure. And I actually
Yes.
worked in Times Television division, which used to produce Filmfare award on an annual
Yes.
basis, and of course Femina Miss India, and they used to
Femina
package and
understanding. Yes. Very
uh,
right.
give it to DD Metro those days, and of course later on it was given to Sony and Star and things like that.
Yes.
So I entered in the right time.
That is fortunate step of yours that the time was so right and your progressing towards the media line was equally well thought of. So there is Srishti Sharma asking you a question. Was it hard juggling between a job in the hospitality industry and completing your graduation?
No,
Would you
not
love to
really,
answer
because
that?
hospitality job actually used to take my 14 to 15 hours, and remaining time I used to get very very little time to study. But the days I used to have examination, I used to take leave and probably do my basic preparation to make sure that at least I pass. Of course, I didn't get distinction on those subjects, but yes, I did
Yes.
pass in all for 3 years, and I did my graduation somehow, because exactly this is what was needed.
Yes. So it's wonderful that you have been an industry expert for nearly 3 decades. You work with topmost media brands like Times TV, MTV, BBC, TV Today, Walt Disney as a senior management cadre. So I would love to know one of your experiences where you felt the moment when you got an offer from Walt Disney, because it's not easy to enter Walt Disney and work there. Also with BBC, British Broadcasting Channel, because very few souls do get a position to work under such great organizations, and it must have been tough, I'm sure. But how did you feel and how did you crack this? Because our viewers would love to know your experience when you were wanting to, work towards making an impact in the media industry by working in Walt Disney, BBC, and all other great organizations.
So I personally had three off movement which I can tell you.
Yes,
First was when I joined MTV, which was a typical American company, and those days MTV used to be big
the
cult,
big one.
the big one, the
I was a
MTV
fan of it.
generation.
Yes,
MTV generation was the idiom we used to use, and
exactly.
it was a purely English music channel, and it was American company. So that
Yes.
was the first thing, and I was very fortunate that in 3 months' time I got promoted as a manager, um, uh,
Kudos
because
to
of my
you.
hard work, and of course because of certain things which I was doing time to time
Yes.
to promote the brand MTV. The second
Wonderful.
was BBC, which was very close to me because at one point of time, my father did his post graduation from London, and BBC was a very big name. So I used
Yes.
to hear this name right from my childhood. And while I was working in the hotel, BBC used to have a very small office over there, and so was
Yes.
CNN. So I was very,
Yes.
very intrigued to actually work for those companies. And I used to, when I was in the hotel, obviously I was in a very, very smaller job. I used to go
Yes.
to those rooms and serve the people, and I used to feel that how lucky these guys are to work for such a big brand name.
Yeah, true.
And
Very
I
true.
remember, and I often quote that, and I'm not very shy to tell that, that at one point of
Wonderful.
time I
We would
used to
love to
actually
hear. The
sit.
audience is already an ear to your experiences because that's what makes Deep Talks a real special show where you are sharing and your experiences, which are facts right here. Yes.
So at one point of time, while I was working in the hotel, my job, as I said, I was a very, very junior level over there, and I was
Yes.
working in B department. My job was to keep the water goblet and the water jug in that BBC office, and I used to go at 7 a.m. in the morning when nobody was there. And I used to think
Yes.
that how lucky people are, and I wish, and I hope, and I pray that one fine day I get to work for such a big brand. And as luck would have
Wow.
it, and as the manifestation was so,
Your
so, so,
dream
so
came true.
strong, I
Exactly.
actually reached BBC office, and of course, I joined as a manager for North and East India because in MTV I was controlling North India, which was
Yes.
also a very difficult task because MTV was an English channel, and we had one rival channel called Channel V, which was a Hindi channel,
Yes, exactly. I
and
still
North
remember.
India. Yes,
Yes.
North India used to be, or rather, is Hindi speaking belt. So MTV was finding very difficult to make their inroads as compared to Western India and Southern India, where English was the secondary language. But I did
Yes.
my
Beautiful
job
language.
great, and of course, I got promoted, and I was working as a manager, as I said, for North India. But in BBC, I joined as a manager for North and East India, and very shortly I was promoted as a national manager over there, and I had additional responsibility of South Asia as well, where I had
Oh my God.
control of
Yes.
Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka and Maldives. So that
Wonderful.
was a second hour moment. Third
That
hour
is indeed.
moment was when I joined Aaj Tak, which used to be half an hour capsule on DD Metro. I don't know if you recall, Aaj Tak before it became channel
I do.
used to be
Yes.
uh, half an hour capsule on DD Metro with
Yes.
the localized ad, and we wanted to make a 24-hour channel. And the
Wonderful.
dream was so big, and so far I was working alone. But in Ashtak, I got a chance to build my team, and I had about 15 to 18 people in my team on pan India basis. And of course, we launched Ashtak with a great pride, and we became number one
It is. It's
immediately.
amazing. It's amazing because Aaj Tak is doing great, and you vested a key role in brand planting and maintaining its footprint in India and abroad. It is wonderful, and it's amazing to hear from you. The work you've done is actually commendable. And there is Srishti actually trying to ask you questions because she's so curious to ask you how do you continuously re-innovate yourself and not get demotivated. Now, this is amazing. A question that you would love to answer because even I would love to know how a person can still work on and achieve a lot of success without getting demotivated. Is there any therapy that you have been trying all these years, or there is a smart tip that you apply on yourself to not fall down but just to get up and get going with the spirits?
Srishti, this therapy I'm still using on a daily basis since last 32 years, and so much so that I use daily. So it's become part of my life not to get demotivated, because obviously when your dreams are bigger than the reality, you have to think high. And if you think high, if you work hard towards that, then obviously you need to get success sooner or later. Plus, there is a golden rule, I heard in while I was trying to become something in life, that you should keep trying. You may fail, and the failure will give you this lesson and experience not to commit those mistakes and get the success again. So that mantra
Wonderful.
actually gave me chance to keep trying something new. I keep reinventing. This is just 2006
Yes.
was my last corporate job, and since then I have been so experimental, which I'll share little ahead, that you will be shocked to hear at what all I've been doing. The basic mantra is to be experimental and be very, very confident. I think confidence was
Wonderful.
the
I do agree with you. Confidence really, really moves mountains, and I have been doing that. And people ask me, how do you actually stand up after every failure? Even I think Shipra, the last evening, we had a conversation. So we all are common friends. So she said, after enduring a struggle in last few days, I had a challenge. So I overcame that, and I'm holding a show today. So I feel so honored. Even before this, I think a technical glitch marred our conversation for a while, and I held on to it, and I said, okay, we are going to have this man back with us. Let's have conversation with the viewers, because that is what it takes. It's the confidence and the grip over your own learning, which you can apply at that moment when you really need it. And that's what I feel great about reading all through your profile and the links that you've shared with me. It speaks volumes, Amitabh, to have you here on board, because there are a lot many people who are sitting and wanting to learn the techniques to be successful. And also, not only that, media is ever rising, so it's an industry that's ever growing, it's eternal. So they would love to know some tips from you. So you were saying something to just enlighten the viewers. He's also he's also the director Asia for Insight Channel since 2014, and was successful in launching the Insight Channel in HD over esteemed geo platforms in year 2017, if I'm not wrong. And that is incredible. So we would love to know your marketing techniques and tips to the viewers, if you can suggest how to grow yourself very well in the media. Some 5 tips that you can give to the viewers to not to lose hope while you are across this journey of being a media personality.
see the 5 techniques would be before I tell you the technique, I'll just narrate one more thing. That 2006, I left Walt Disney, which was my last
Yes,
uh, corporate job. And 2006 only, I started my own company, iMedia International, which I'm still part of. And whatever earning I'm doing since 2006, I'm earning through iMedia International only. And I've been doing a lot of work nationally and internationally, more internationally before COVID started. But
yes,
last 16 years have been so challenging and so great that I can't tell you the kind of exposure I got now in last 16 years. I can't tell you. I mean, I'm about to finish my. I mean, let's keep COVID period aside. I was about to finish my sixth passport, which was a jumbo passport. So you can imagine the kind of
yes,
international travel. And more travel you do, the more learned you become, because when you go to a
yes.
different country, different culture, different religion, different setup, you learn so many things, not only the language, food, but also way of communication with the people, way of life of the people. And
Very
you
true.
learn, and you try to pick up the best of the things that they have been working on, and then you try to imply on your own life. You surely supposed to get the success.
So I think
So
one of the techniques that you're mentioning is to be flexible in the approach, in one's mindset. One should be,
indeed,
open to
indeed.
learning. One should travel, and one should keep one's eyes and ears open to be really, really very, very good observer to understand the cultures and the different places, how people stay and the lifestyle of the people.
So, you asked me five techniques. So, five techniques I would say first is to be innovative. You personally
What?
have to be very, very innovative by your nature to try out new things.
Yes,
I've learned few jargons in my corporate job. First was out of box. So this out of box thing is very important for your personality. You need to
yes,
be you need to think out of the box to be innovative. So that's
yes,
my
indeed.
first tip. The second tip would be to be very, very confident of whatever you're doing. You need to be very, very sure about it, and you need to work with conviction on those things, because if you're
Yes,
delivering something, if you're answerable for something, you need to be sure about those things. Otherwise, you not land up anywhere. The
yes,
third thing which you need to be very, very mindful is to be a good team leader. You can't work alone. Everybody has a limitation. You need to
yes,
work more on a team level, which is what I've learned in my corporate job. I was very, very fortunate to get very, very good team members all my life. And I think I know how to nurture them. I know how to keep them happy by being with them rather than acting as a boss. So if you be with them like a friend and you work with them, that definitely, I mean, I just to give you example, my Ashtak team, all the people, 14, 15 people that used to work, everybody's in touch with me, barring few who left
yes,
uh, this word actually. They are not in touch, of course, but everybody's in touch with me and we talk on a regular basis. And I'm in touch with my bosses as well, who taught me, because
wonderful.
I forget about my bosses, then I'm doing not justice to my own self. Uh, Whatever
Yes,
I am because of my bosses. So I need to pay my gratitude to them. I need to pay
yes,
gratitude to my friends who always had this faith in me to make something big in life. So I think
indeed.
that is the third thing. Fourth thing, which I learned now during this collaborative, the COVID thing, is to be collaborative. You need to
Yes,
be very, very collaborative. If you think you can work alone, you are not doing justice to yourself, and you are not doing justice to the work that you have. You have to be
true.
collaborative. Those days are over when you can go on your own and you can, win the world.
Yes,
In today's arena, in today's time, you need to be very, very collaborative. And the fifth and
true.
the last thing you need to do is to be very, very compassionate about things that you do. If you do not have the emotions, if you do not have the sensitivities, if you do not have the compassion, you will
Very
not
right.
make a good thing. You need to have all these elements and ingredients to make your work successful, and your let your work speak. I mean, everybody speak that they're the good leader. I always
Yes.
believe that my work should speak, and that is probably the reason I'm sitting with you, because all my life I've been believing on those things.
That's wonderful. That's amazing. I think one should have that kind of thought and one should manifest because I think that makes you who you are, Amitabh, and it speaks volumes about how you have reached the pinnacles of success and you still remain grateful to the people whom you worked under and who worked under you. And that's a great way of bringing a lot of laurels to the nation at large. You also backed the world's biggest deal of working with the world's biggest radio broadcast, All India Radio, and has been judging the prestigious India Radio Forum Awards since last 9 years. Now that is terrific. So, how has your journey been as a jury member judging the prestigious India Radio Forum Awards since last 9 years? It must have been amazing, I'm sure. So our viewers would love to know this. And Sunil Kaushal was saying, so right, traveling itself is an education in itself. Wonderful. Thanks a lot for joining in, Sunil Kaushal. You are a wonderful soul, and you also have worked in the Doordarshan, so you are right there watching us in conversation. I'm sure that we all are enjoying this conversation because talking something that's sensible and it will evoke the spirit of people who have lost a hope that they cannot survive in the media industry because he's right there presenting to you something, some facts about his life, how he rose from where he was. He started from the scratch and he is right there in front of you touching the skies and flying in the skies. He's there manifesting all that he has been doing since a child. So, yes, we would love to know your experience as a jury member judging the prestigious India Radio
Uh,
4 Awards
yeah,
last night.
I mean, I'm basically television professional, and in 2006, 7 actually, 2007, I got an opportunity to work with one international broadcaster from Netherlands
Yes,
for their radio service. And when you work in Europe, I was there with them for 6 years. So those
wonderful.
6 years have been quite rewarding for me in terms of learning the techniques, learning the futuristic technologies, learning the radio. You know, internationally, you'll be surprised, and not many people know about it. Internationally, radio is actually a talk radio. What you hear in India, the radio is with the songs. That is
Yes.
because there is an embargo on news and current affairs on the radio, so they can't have
Okay.
talk radio. And whoever tried talk radio actually failed miserably, because there are 15 to 18 channels in a different city, so they all compete with each other. So most of the
Okay.
radio that you hear in India is actually the music channels,
The
not
music
the
channel.
FM radio.
Yes, very right.
But internationally, the radio is totally different. There you have the vocal words, it's a spoken words, where you have the talk radio. And
That's
because I
amazing.
was very fortunate to work with the international broadcasters, and that too on international arena, I got an opportunity to judge IRF, which is India Radio Forum, and then of course Promax. It's been almost 10 years with the IRF, and of course, there has been 3 to 4 years with Promax now, where I've been judging the radio as well as TV. And last 2 years, I've been judging the OTT awards as well. So it's always,
Wonderful.
I feel, being on jury itself is an award to you, because
Exactly. That's an honor. It's an achievement in itself. Indeed, it is respectful. It's so that you feel that so much of unconditional love people are throwing on you,
and
and you are hold
secondly,
your most.
you're aware of what's going on, you're aware of the
Wonderful.
best of the product, you're aware of the best of the programming, how they compete, what all they do. And these days these awards are also quite innovative. I mean, initially
Exactly.
they have only 10 categories, now they have 20, wherein
Yes.
they have social service message, covid related messages. I mean, they all are very, very innovative. And when you see the channels competing with each other, with producing best of the content, you feel so much in tune with what's going on in media actually, and not only in
So, what
television,
have
radio.
you to say about the current generation new channels? I mean, you are working with all of them, and you have been seeing the growth from past so many years. So, how do you feel that the content portrayed on the new media channels? What have you to say about it? Is it really impacting the audience in a positive way, or only in a negative way? What is your take on it? I believe it should be something which is positive, because people are thinking out of the box, and it's indeed growing every year.
See, there is a change internationally which had happened lately, last 2 years. The
Yes,
television has lost some glamour. The television, I would say,
yes,
um, uh, by earlier used to people used to watch program by the hour. There was this term called appointment viewing. Like at
yes.
9 o'clock, if there is a program, Ramayana is coming, people will sit and watch Ramayana or Mahabharata or some serial or some whatever. So
Yeah, there was
those
a
days are
timeline.
over.
Yes,
Now, with the OTT advancement, what happened is that when the series come, there is a new
yes,
word called binge watching. Now
binge
people
watching. Yes,
people watch the entire series in one night. They don't have patience to wait for 2 days or 2 weeks or whatever. So the whole television experience globally have changed. And
yes,
obviously, when you have so much of content coming on television, obviously a lot of content is good, a lot of content is bad. Now the viewer have choice. Earlier the choice wasn't there. You used to
yes,
have the cable, you used to have DTH, and whatever channels that you have subscribed, you will get that. But with the look at YouTube, what YouTube
yes.
was there 5 years back and what it is right now, there's a
It's right
huge,
now.
huge
Yes,
difference. So
huge difference.
everything is evolving, and it's up to you to pick up the best or worst. It's up to you. So the best thing which had happened is that you have a choice of a content that you wish to watch, and you'll be served with what you need.
Exactly. That is so true. With YouTube growing and so many choices available, people are choosing and they are using the skills which they would love to learn from every channel they are utilizing at its best. And then we cannot say that if they're learning something bad, so it is like every profession has a pros and a con coming along with it. So even media has. So what have you to say about the young generation? I mean, too much attuned to the media, and they only think that media is all about glamour. What have you to say about those people who only think that working in the media industry is all about glamour, attending parties, and you have to show them a real picture, a real side to it. So, what's your message to those people who think that it is only the business of putting up makeup on and being there on the work front, and media is all about glamour only? What is your take on this? What is your message to all
See,
those
I'll
people who
I'll I'll I'll
just
give you a very
simply?
good example. I'll give you a
Yes,
very good example. When we were child, we used to say that I wanted to become a pilot.
yes,
Everybody thought that airlines or Air Force only has pilot, which
yes,
was so very wrong.
yeah,
Similarly, what people are seeing, media has only glamour. It's of course glamour is there, but
yes,
it's not being just being anchor. I mean, television only doesn't have only anchors. There are
yes,
over 30 departments which works side by side, um, whether it's production, post production, graphics, distribution, marketing, brand marketing, airtime sales, you
yes.
you name it. And depending on your own aptitude and your own education or your own experience, you can actually pick up the right trend what you wanted to follow. So
Wonderful.
whoever is thinking that they would like to join media, they need to be very very sure as to what's good in them and how they can
Yes.
exploit the best of their own personality to suit the job that they would like to go. That's my
That's a
only advice.
fantastic approach. Exactly. So that is right there. If somebody is misguided, somebody can take assistance. And what a best way to take assistance from people who have, grown in the media industry. People can learn from them, and they're always ready there to help. Like usually, I used to listen to good people in the media industry, and I used to think like before approaching you, also I thought that you will be a man who will be, not friendly. And when I had the first call with you, I was like, oh my God, he's very friendly and humble. So it's an honor for us to be having you talking about your experiences, because indeed it's my, I would say it's my luck. Like you said, your aha moment. So for me, it's my aha moment to have you on my show, because
Thank
you
you.
are there talking on various issues. Recently, you attended a seminar, and we would love to ask you how was your experience in the Lee Meridian, New Delhi. You were, there. So we would love to ask you how was that symposium, or was it a conference, or what was the topic, and what
you
was
know
the message?
I've been going to so many conferences. The two conferences I attended post COVID, one
Yes,
was this Lee Meridian where you saw the recording, and of course there was one more award, which was my dear friend company of Business World Impact Person of
yes,
the Year award, which was given to
yes,
ITC chairman this year.
yes.
Both the places happened less than a month of each other, and the most important thing what I enjoyed was to meeting my old friends, colleagues, and friends all over. They were there for those events, so I think meeting them was my big moment than probably sitting and giving my gyan. So I
Wonderful.
enjoyed the networking, meeting them after long. Many had the gray hair. Of course, I have my gray
Yes,
hair as well. two
but
years
that
back, I
comes
used
with
to.
a lot of experience, as it is rightly stated by many that you do not have gray hair like that. I have not had gray hair just like that in the sun. So it is wonderful to hear from you that you are just down to earth, and you do love socialization and meeting people, because you do believe that it comes along with a lot of thought process that you can learn from everybody when you meet. So networking is a part of going well in the media. That also is a tip that I believe, if you are good in networking, you can learn and travel also with it, and the thoughts that you're having in your mind to set yourself right in the media industry. But you have to be confident within yourself and to accept your skills that you're having it, to move forward. So you have to have that grip over your own capabilities. So I'm sure that you had all that in you. So you've been acknowledged with several awards like Indian Media Award, Rajiv Gandhi Excellence Award, BCS Ratna Award, Best Distribution Head of the Year, and also facilitated with PhD Chamber of Commerce. So now this is something incredible. So after achieving all these awards, I'm sure that the space in your house would be, having all these trophies and all these hanging on the wall, your achievements and all. It is a great boost when you are having a conversation with someone in the same place. What is your take on thinking that achievements do define what you have done in life, but beyond that, milk of human kindness also defines who you are as a person. So keeping both of them in the balance is a great contribution to the society at large. Do you believe that after achieving so much, you still have a lot to achieve and you still have your dreams alive?
Absolutely. And I say one line: my best is yet to come.
Oh,
So
wonderful. That even a wonderful statement that best is yet to come. So you're always young at heart. You've been also felicitated with All India Radio, Kashwani, Delhi, UNICEF, and Limca Book of Records for outstanding
see,
contributions.
all these awards and recognition comes as a pat on your back that you are doing good work. And when all these big names and uh,
Yes,
all the awards and recognition comes to you, should boost you. And obviously it boosted me and my confidence that I'm doing and I'm on the right path. But
yes.
same time, it also gave me the responsibility that if I'm getting honored by such things and such organization, by such big names and awards and recognition, it's also making my position more responsible. And I'm supposed to do much better than what I'm being acknowledged so far. So I think
So
I
you
take
pushed
all my
yourself for even a lot more better than what you were. So that's incredible because you're pushing yourself for, like, you did something like 200%, you did something, and now you're extracting your fullest potential and you're doing and giving your best in the next. So that is a ladder, I would say, a step to growth. You're just stepping on the ladder and believing in yourself that you can do much more. It's something like whatever you feed your mind does give you that in longer run, and it is indeed very very commendable of you to have self boosting thoughts, which is indeed people are losing these days, because during pandemic a lot many people lost hope to live life, and I'm sure
True,
that you
true.
have an experience to share with us, that you have also got corona and you were serious and you experienced death, and you are right there with us sitting on this chair and sharing your life, your achievements and your experiences, and sharing some techniques and tips with the viewers, because it is amazing. God gives us one life to live, and we have to
True,
be grateful for the life that we are having. So,
true,
what
true,
what
true.
is your take on the pandemic affecting India and globally? It's actually something that's affecting every mindset, and the fear of it, and the fear of the third wave. Is right there in the mindset of people. So, what is your take, and how did you go through it? Was it something, a spiritual insight into yourself, or was it the love of the people around you that kept you alive, which I'm very sure is there with you?
Indeed, as you rightly said, I had a close encounter with death where I was hospitalized and I was actually on ventilator for 21 days. And when I was admitted, my oxygen level was about 39. When it is supposed to be 94, you're supposed to rush to hospital. It was 39 when I was admitted, and obviously the doctors were a little hopeful that I'll survive. But I think your personal resilience, your personal gut feeling, and your personal internal confidence makes you win such battle as well. Being on
Yes,
those beds, obviously, I mean, I don't remember most of the time when I was in the hospital, because when your oxygen is less in your body, in your mind, you don't remember,
my
you're not in senses. But in
yes,
7 to 8 days, when I got my senses, when I got my phone in my hand, and I got to know about a lot of deaths, all my friends. And when you're COVID patient, you're secluded, your ward is
yes,
different.
isolated. Yes, true.
There you don't know whether the doctor is coming or the ward boy is coming, because they're wearing those pp kit. So you don't know
Yes.
whether he's a cleaner, he's a doctor, who is he. And they're very
Yes.
very limited set of people which comes. Plus you have all the patients who are struggling with life. And I
Yes.
have seen so many people dying in front of my own eyes. I am such a I'm afraid of death. I used to be
Yes.
afraid of death, I would say. And
Yes.
when somebody used to die, I used to leave those lanes and never used to pass those homes. I am such a I used
Yes.
to be terrified.
Beautiful
But when you
person.
see
Yes.
people dying in front of you and you're struggling yourself for your own life, it gets you the feeling that how precious life is and how much
Very
granted
precious.
we take our life. So that's
Yes,
the
indeed.
first thing which I learned those days when I was in the hospital, and of course I after I got off the hospital as well.
Yes. So, who
Obviously the
has been
second.
your role model besides you struggling for death? And I'm sure that people like you who are having so much of love for others and a lot of fan following of yours, your secret admirers, I'm sure there must be many, many ladies vying for your attention as well, because age is just a number. On a lighter note, I would love to ask about your married life. So, how did you meet your wife, and do you think that the companion in life does impact your profession and your growth? Because I believe if you have a great companion in life who understands your journey, it really marks a lot, much success in your mind already. Because there are companions who are toxic. People meet such companions who cannot see the other person growing and traveling, and they don't understand each other. So being in a married life and traveling and achieving all that you have in the media industry, ruling the media industry, how has your wife been helpful in it? And we would love to know one romantic experience of yours on Deep Talks, because it's indeed going to be really, really enlightening for the viewers. It's indeed on a lighter note, sharing something that's so personal.
So you asked me three, four questions, so I'll answer step by step. So obviously, when I was in the hospital, a lot of people prayed for me, and as they say, prayers have a lot of power. Um, and on the lighter note, my wife was so much in tension. Of
Yes,
course, I was in the hospital. She also had the COVID, but she used to get call from my friends and my so-called admirers as to how I am, because there was no way that they could reach me. So the only
yes,
person they could reach was my wife, and she used to be so much in tension as to who is this now. And of course, she was very kind to all of them, and everybody was kind to her. But there, she got to know the kind of the level of understanding or friends I had. Everybody was praying puja. They're doing mannat. They're doing special
puja.
aartis and pujas for my well-being. And of course I thanked most of them, and I visited all the places where I could, uh, when I got okay, to thank God as well, because
Yes,
as they say, once you have a manoti, you have to make sure that you go to the same temple and thank the God. So that was
yes,
one part of it. The second thing you asked me, how is the married life? We got married when I was 23, and my wife was 19. So it was literally a bal vivah, and it was arranged marriage. So we
yes.
literally grown up together, and she
That's
has
wonderful.
been and I've been very, very fortunate to get a very good life partner. She's been so much with me. We literally grown together. We are like more like kids to each other. We fight like kids. We argue
That's a
like
wonderful.
kids.
That's amazing. I hope that she sees this when you answer this question. She sees this because it's Hina Shukla said, "What a wonderful question, Gurleen, you've asked her." So viewers are liking this, and I would love to ask you, and you are already answering it. So we would love to have you saying what you wanted to say.
So when I have grown up with her, and of course she was quite instrumental when I was growing up in my career, because I had a kid immediately after I got married. My son is now 27 plus. He turned 27 in December,
Yes.
and I'm 51 right now. Before you guess my age.
Yeah. No, I
so
would not ask the age.
so So when I was traveling, she used to take care of my home and my child, and of course, there was a family also that was her responsibility, and she was very, very supportive, and I was also very supportive to her, and um,
Wonderful.
it was only during last 2 years we got a time to spend with each other during COVID when I'm not traveling. I always joke and say to her that it's been almost a year or more than a year that I've smelled the jet fuel because I haven't traveled anywhere.
That's incredible, and what a wonderful
Another
story. And
thing
what,
which you asked me, which I like to mention, the one of the romantic thing. So when we
yes,
got married, I was working in the hotels and I had the 7 days leave, and my marriage culminated in Allahabad. So of
yes,
course it took me one day to go there, second day to
yes,
get married over there because in Hindu ritual, I'm from UP. So in Allahabad, when the marriages happen, it happens overnight.
overnight.
So the second night was there, and third night we came back to Delhi, and the fifth night we had the reception in Delhi because my father was a known journalist, so he had his own battery of people who wanted to come and bless me. So
Yes, wonderful.
my 7 days leave just went like that, and we were
Like
not
that.
so affluent those days, and
सात
we were
फेरे और
married.
7 दिन.
I'm sorry, say
That's
again.
correct. 7 फेरे और 7 दिन.
That
They
then.
went
So
by.
so I promised my wife that before we complete 10 years of our marriage, if we survive, I will take you to the world tour, and the world tour will be for 2 months. And she was very fascinated those days with Switzerland. So I said we will live in Switzerland for 1 month, and 1 month you can travel wherever you want to visit. So
Fantastic.
before I ended my 10th year, I kept my promise and I took her to 2 month holiday for around the globe. And of course, we spent about month in Switzerland in different cities, and of course, my son was with me. The
What you
only the only travel which I did alone with her, because my son was always a part and parcel of my travel all throughout
yes.
my life. The only travel which I did along with my wife alone so far is Maldives, which was some 5 years back.
Fantastic.
So that is the small
That was an
romantic.
amazing experience, I'm sure. That Zina Shukla is saying your wife's painting is awesome. I wish to see her as well on your talk show. Definitely, we would love to have a beautiful damsel on a show. So maybe Amitabh proceeds with the request of mine and the viewers to have her. So we will have a Jodi show, or we'll have in February somewhere where we can have a glimpse of the damsel he's married to. And I'm sure this is a message that all the viewers can take, that, despite all the travels and all the job deadlines and everything, one should never give up on the dreams with their partners. They should
I
rekindle.
must say, Hina knows me, and of course she knows my wife as well. My wife
Yes.
is a painter, and she actually discovered her painting passion in 2020, and she came up with a series of good work. In fact,
Wow.
her dedication, I'm not joking, seriously telling you, her dedication is right now. She was painting, and I told her at 9 o'clock that you can
I
log
have a
into the
show.
website.
Yes.
And her answer was, and I'm telling you the fact, her answer was that I will do my puja and my work of my painting unless until I finish my painting. I will not watch your show. You do your puja and your work. When it's done, when we both are free, we'll watch it together. So that's the dedication she.
Fantastic. An incredible woman she is. Do pass my wishes to her
I will.
and
Thank you.
all the love to her, because she has been the backbone for who you are today, and you have been the same to her. Because together one moves towards a direction of growth and progress. It's always beautiful to hear from people who have been married for years and they praise their counterparts, because usually you find them criticizing, condemning, and blaming each other.
She's
But
here.
here is a
She's here. She can say hello for 1 minute.
we can have a glimpse of her.
Yeah,
Hello,
yeah. Just
ma'am.
say
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
I hope.
you have to come up.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Good
How are
evening. We have
you?
heard a lot about your paintings. I hope we get to see them and to have you on
Thank
the
you
show
so
once.
much. It's my pleasure.
It's it's wonderful, wonderful. Hina Shukla has been appreciating. I think she's your friend, and we would
Oh,
love to see your work soon. And I would definitely invite you on my show, Deep Talks. It's incredible to have
Thank you,
your
Nina.
counterpart, Amitabh, the man who's ruled the media, here with us. It's amazing and honor to have you both, there with each other as love couples. I would say you are the real couple who can show the path to many youngsters that how marriage can be in today's time. And since yesteryears, you have been continuing with a lot of struggles. You are indeed doing good to the society. So we would love to have you when we have a Jodi thing on the show. We would definitely invite both of you.
Sure,
Sure.
she'll be there for sure. I can say.
Yes, wonderful. Indeed, our
Sure.
pleasure, ma'am. Thanks a lot for sharing your few minutes with us. We would love to ask you one question if you would love to answer.
Yeah, please.
How has your married life been to you in your words, sir?
Oh, in my words. Okay. It's all about love, struggle, and
Yes,
be honest. That's it. I can say
wonderful.
that.
Incredible answer, because that's what I was looking for. Being honest in a relationship is what takes you forward.
Yes.
And we are so lucky that we could have you here with Amitabh, the couple here on the screen. This has happened for the very first time on this show, that we asked for something and our dream came true. So our puja is done. I hope you continue with your pujas for your husband, because he's an amazing person. And
Yes.
everybody would love to dream of having a wife or a husband, a jodi like you in their real life. Because whatever they see in the Bollywood is not what comes across in the real life. That's what
Yes.
people think, that it is like that, but it is not like that. So you are
Hmm.
currently leading iMedia International, sir, as a director. So
Yes.
we would love to
So
know
she can leave.
how, before leaving, bye
Bye
bye,
bye. Thank
ma'am.
you so
Thanks a
much.
lot. Thanks a lot.
My
So,
pleasure.
before leaving this conversation, we would love to just ask you this: how has your journey been in the iMedia International as a director? You are managing tasks like marketing distribution, channel distribution, media packaging, media research, broadcast management solutions globally. So, what is the message that you can give to the viewers with this question that I've asked you? One of your experiences of heading this as a director. We would love to know that from you.
If you recall, I used one word called experimental, and iMedia International is my own company. So I have been quite experimental in my job, wherein I did a couple of new things for myself to learn and to share with the world. Like when I was with the Dutch broadcaster for 6 years, you'll be very surprised. Actually worked on one project which was funded by Dutch government and a lot of foreign funding agencies like Melinda Gates Foundation, Ford Foundation, couple of more
Yes,
actually funded that project, which was based on sex education, wherein we actually opened a website which was we I'll give you the background. We actually did a research by Nielsen across the globe, and we found out that the South Asia lacks the sex education because you and I are not being taught
right.
about that. As far as the
Yes,
education is concerned, we learn from our peer group, our friends, everyone.
definitely.
And being Indian, when I was asked to lead this project way back in 2008, I was
Yes,
hesitant because this three-letter word is like a taboo in India. But
yes,
I
it is.
decided to go ahead and make a big mark. And of course, we did a lot of work along with the government of India, where we got not only their support but also the logo of Bharat Sarkar, which actually saved us because you need to have the government of India. And one of my friend Manoj was here, who was part of that particular project as far as the PR was concerned. We did great work. So the whole idea was that I give you this example that you don't have to feel shy. You don't have to feel about anything. You can do anything which is possible. Like
Yes,
in India, uh, talking about this subject, that too on the educational side, was a big thing. And being a media professional, I have no background information, background knowledge, but I was working not only with the radio companies but also with the mobile companies. And I actually did one tie up with the Reliance Telephone those days, which was controlled by Anil Ambani, and I did the press conference in Barcelona and World Mobile Congress. So that is the kind of magnitude I was working, and because of my work in India, I got similar deal in South Africa from French telecom side. So the whole idea is that your imagination can take you far, far. I mean, you don't have to be experimental. I'll give you another example, which I did while I was working with iMedia International. That I did a lot of work in makeup and wardrobe management for the news anchors of different news channels for
Yes.
almost 2 years continuously, wherein I was actually taking care of the makeup of the news anchors, because I felt, being working in international media channels, that our Indian anchors were not at par with those
Not
international
up. Yes.
anchors as far as look and projection was
Like,
concerned. I was fortunate to work with top 11 channels at one point of time, and I was earning good. But then I decided to say bye to that and got involved in something else. So I keep doing something experimental, right from education to fashion, to wardrobe management, to makeup, to anything. Then
that's cool,
recently I started
incredible.
teaching
So,
also,
all
and I
the
feel very
females who
good
are watching
because
this video and the show, they're going to connect to you, because I'm sure the ones who are already there working in the media will love to take your tips. And there is Manoj Barman saying, yes, it was a great project to work with you, sir. So he's already there hearing you and has typed in a comment for you. That's wonderful that your friends are watching this conversation. I'm sure you will be sharing this, Manoj, with others, and it's enlightening enough, because it's indeed commendable to take out your precious time and be with me on this show, because this is also a thought of mine that took me to a call, that we can break the barriers to befriend souls across the globe, and we can actually talk about things that people hesitate to talk about. So, what if I'm coming from a defense background? I knew that if I am the one who's taking this step forward as a mental health expert, I might start a revolution by just letting people know it's not a taboo to talk about sensual topics or sexual topics or live-in or extramarital affairs, because it is indeed something that is gripping our youngsters, and they are committing crimes. Suicides are happening. There's a lot much happening inside the homes than we can see on the streets, because a lot many things go unsaid and unreported, and that's what I am doing here, by bringing people who can have the confidence and the courage to share their experiences and mark a beginning with me, because I do believe that a dint of hard work and consistent efforts and honesty does top into pay the reward in the longer run.
indeed,
So,
indeed.
indeed.
Uh,
So,
exactly.
yes,
That was one reason why I accepted to be on your show, because when our dear friend suggested your name, and of course we were connected in the LinkedIn earlier, I
yes,
immediately didn't even took a second to think about it, and I thought probably through you I can reach out to X number of people, and if you're doing good job, and I can be instrumental, or probably I can give my anshdan to your project. And reach out
wonderful,
to,
sir.
with my
Giving credit
voice to.
your spirit, because I still have those words of yours when we were talking and conversing, that I just said that I cannot stand on the identity of my father, who's a Shaurya Chakra gallantry awardee who retired as a chief pilot of Prime Minister of a nation. I believe that we have to mark our own identity, whether it is starting from the scratch. We have to have confidence in our abilities to move forward, whether it's a thought that you have to practice and you have to fall and you have to get up and get going with it. If you are really very optimistic about it, like you said, that you manifested all your life and you've been fortunate enough to get it. So I'm also streaming live this 80th episode, thinking that, oh my God, this man has done incredible work. And I'm not just comparing myself with you, but I'm hoping that a lot many experiences and tips that you've shared might help me in growing in this industry. And I bring laurels not only to myself, but to the nation at large.
I'm sure you will, and count me for any help going further. Of course, I said it before, and I'm saying on screen in public right now that you can count me as a good friend, and I'm always there to help you or anyone who needs any help. Because my simple help, my simple few words, if it can help anyone, why not? And I also believe in one more thing, that all these things that you do in your life on extra actually comes back to you in a very good shape.
Yes,
how I have reached from a trainee assistant steward to this level where I'm known globally, maybe because of the blessings, maybe because of the good deed that I did in this life, and of course my past life as well.
I do agree with you that your karmic deeds have helped you, the blessings of people, the secret admirers, not forgetting the females who would love to have a word with you and have a date with you. I'm sure age is just a number because they learn a lot. It's a
Ask
modern
my
generation.
wife. I mean, she's fed up with those requests and those fan followings.
Yes, yes, I can understand that, but we are very lucky. I'm fortunate to have you on board, and I thank Shipra Uppal, who must be watching this conversation. She has been consistent in bringing forward her thoughts, how great Amitabh is, and we are nothing. We are just a small a seed in
No,
this
no.
in this
Thanks to
trying
Shipra
to learn.
to actually suggest my name to you. Thank you very much,
Yes,
Shipra, if you're
indeed. And I'm lucky to have you, Dr. Piyush Saxena, and Shipra. I'm sure that we all together will one day meet and we'll also connect virtually to have a program and talk about these topics that are not talked about, the untold stories and the untold issues that people really, really hesitate to talk about. Because being at service, we can do a lot by illuminating the mindsets. And I am just learning from everybody, and I hope that I grow with it. So there is a comment which has come. Shipra M. Uppal and Manisha Kaushik has said 3 cheers. Shipra has said today is one among the show with great energy. Thanks a lot, Shipra. Thank you so much for joining us because it is indeed a pleasure to have you on board with us. It indeed takes a lot to take out your time despite your family deadlines and your professional work life. I'm sure everybody is involved, engaged in everything, but taking out your time to watch the show. I have a great deep tip which I always share on the show. So maintaining consistency is a great virtue, and with honesty at your service, one can never remain a failure. That's what I believe in. If you have that, you will never, never, never lose a hope. You will always find a ray of hope, and you will always have somebody around you helping you. Like Amitabh says, manifest. So, one last message before we leave this conversation for tonight, because this is the very first episode of 2022, marking with a great legend. I would call you a legend because indeed you have done a great, terrific job in the media industry, and still people would love to know a lot more about you. Until I meet you, I would definitely like people to get involved in this industry if they have the abilities and the skills. So, one last message from your side to the viewers who have joined us and the ones who are watching us.
Yeah, I
So,
got you back.
yes,
I got you back.
yes. So, one last message for the viewers who are watching us before we leave this conversation.
You know, the only message I got last year, and I'll repeat the same message, which I'm believing from my soul, not only from my heart, is to love everyone. Because it's only the love which will take you far, far, far from anywhere. And when you have the unconditional love from the people you cultivate amongst your life, around your life, that can take you far. And of course, there is a bit of honesty that is required from that love, because love have lost its meaning over the years.
Yes,
What love I'm talking is with the respect that is very important in love.
very right. Very right. So we have a frozen Amitabh talking about love, and love does make you freeze for a moment because it's the reality. We have Devesh Negi Sarpan. It was so motivating. Thanks a lot for joining us. There is what I was saying, Amitabh, was that love does this. It's a frozen moment. When you are in love, it does freeze. So we are talking something and it froze. So with a big man like him, the screen also says that we are on a blast. It's a aha moment for the show because this is indeed amazing. Devesh has said it was so motivating. Manisha Kaushik has joined, said, well said, Gurleen. Such positive thoughts will definitely influence people to think better. Really motivated. She's really motivated. I'm sure that she's also going to be a guest, and she heard my Deep Talk show from someone. She also saw it and she said, Gurleen, I would love to be on the show. I said, please welcome. It's a show where you can have the confidence to talk about your experiences. So we are really motivated to host you despite all the struggles that we face. We are always ready, upright there, thinking that we have to be positive if we are really marking a difference in the mindset of people. And rightly stated, Amitabh was saying the last message, and it was indeed very, very hilarious and very realistic, because when you are in love, you're blinded, the screen gets frozen, and you do feel that numb feeling when you're really in love.
I didn't do anything. It was technology and some
I
power,
think
supreme power above me.
helping you to say that when you were talking about love, that love does make you go through a lot. So it's real, my dear viewers. When you are in love, you blush, you smile, you face all the seasons and
You
the
also go
reasons.
blind, which we went.
Yes, we went blind many a times today in today's episode, but it never deterred us from the great spirit that we are having to let people know that we are still optimistic about life, and we are living, and we are grateful that we are living. So yes, the last line that you were saying was somewhere disconnected because of the
So,
technology.
so the last line is to just spread the love and just be compassionate to everyone that you meet in life, because everybody's going through the mental trauma, stress, everything. Nobody's happy nowadays. Everybody have their own set of problems caused by this pandemic globally. So all I wanted is to help people, to give them assurance that we are there to help each other. That's the only thing which is required right now. Nothing else. I mean, money will come and go, power will come and go, but not the real people. You need to identify the real people you actually need around your life right now. That's the
Indeed.
message I would like to give you, to be very, very selective and make sure that you start respecting life, which we actually take granted, and start respecting people, which we normally don't follow, because we take people granted also, not only life but people granted also. One should
Wonderful.
become very, very serious, because I don't know how
Amitabh,
long we'll live, but
so
till the
we
time
are
we are
now
alive, we should be.
1 hour, 16 minutes, and 14 seconds. It is indeed commendable for us to have a conversation that has actually enlightened many people and motivated many people. Every talk gains a little from what is going on in the world, my dear viewers, and what one has learned over the years. Every heart and every mind needs to express this love seat holds relevance with the bold moves, and Amitabh has shared his life story experiences with us. Jai Hind to all the people who have watched the show. Stay safe, stay mentally and physically fit. Enjoy every moment of your living, because this is Deep Talks, and we are going to have many more guests coming on board. I'm sure such an amazing man we had tonight, and I hope that 2022 you are away from this Omicron and you stay safe. So please feel free to approach me whenever you want to come on the show. I'm always there available for you at Gurleen Khokhar at gmail.com. You can reach out for your counseling services to open the window for a brighter tomorrow. This was Deep Talks, and I wish a very, very good night to all my viewers. Keep sharing, keep loving, and thanks a lot, Amitabh, for
Thank
joining me on board Deep Talks. I hope I lived up to your expectations, and sorry.
Totally, entirely, and thank you very much for all the viewers to stay that late it's quite late actually, but thank you very much to you and to everyone who stayed with us throughout. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining in.